Hi everyone, it's me, Aubrey in Wonderland, here for my week. I don't know. I've finally reached the point where I've come on a video and said, I don't even know what week it is. um, I have been away. I have been, my life has just been a complete whirlwind over the last month to month and a half. I lost my assistant at work due to an extended leave of absence for medical reasons, and it's been difficult to say the least. So I've had to pick up not only my duties, but an extra full-time position worth of duties, and I've also been taking on a new role at work. So not to mention my 3 kids and the busyness of the holidays and all of that combined. Perfect storm. Something had to give, and sorry guys. But I'm going to check back as often as I can. I'm not gone. I just had to take a little break. Last time I checked in was October 11th of this year. I should start at the beginning. My highest weight was 288. My surgery weight was 255. On October 11th, I was 183. And today is November 30th. And this morning I was 171.8. So I've lost 11.2 pounds since the last time I checked in. Which is good. That's in, I think, 6 or 7 weeks, something like that. So I'm happy with that. I was very happy with my progress. I kind of floated around that 185 to 182 number for a good long time. So once I broke that and got into the 170s, it seems like I just kept going without really doing much. So, and what I mean by that is I kind of established my food routine early on in the process. So I had certain go-to foods that I've continued to stick with. I haven't had to do much guesswork. I know that for lunch I'm going to have like a turkey roll, lunch meat and cheese and some mustard and maybe some fruit. I have my Greek yogurt for breakfast. Dinner is usually a lean protein with some kind of vegetable on the side. I don't really have to worry about, if I'm not able to focus on my foods, whether I'm getting off track or not. So that's been good. That being said, I was down to 170 and I gained that 1.8 pounds this week. We actually traveled this week. We flew down to Southern California to be with my dad and my stepmom for Thanksgiving. And so there were a lot of really salty foods, lots of pastries around, lots of fatty foods. And I chose to eat off plan for the week while we were down there. It was a very pointed and calculated decision. It's not like I planned to be on plan and then went off the rails and lost my way. That wasn't it at all. I decided that it was the holidays and I was going to eat what I wanted. So, you know, when we went down to the Lights Festival and all that, I had a couple bites of funnel cake. We had these yummy handmade donuts. They make them right there in front of you. You have to wait for your donuts to be done for them to serve them to you. They're about that big, and they were with cinnamon and sugar, and they were delightful. So had one of those, things like that. But for my main meals, I tried to stick with my routine, my basics, and mostly it's because that's what I prefer. I know that if I get some protein in my stomach, some dense protein, that I can throw some carbs or sugar on top of that and still be safe, not really have to worry about dumping. So it was good. Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving Day, we had brunch at my grandpa's house. We took brunch over there, so it was all pretty much like finger foods, quick and easy foods, because we actually brought the food with us, like I mentioned. So it was things like we had like ham, like sliced like lunch meat, ham and cheese, and quiche and fruit, and then scones. So I just kind of stuck with what I wanted. It went well. It was fine. Thanksgiving dinner, we went to my stepbrother's house, and it was fine. It was all the basic Thanksgiving foods that you would expect to find. I stuck with mostly turkey, green bean casserole, and had a couple bites of a roll and a couple of bites of stuffing. And then later for dessert, like a couple hours later, I did have a half a piece of apple pie, and it made me, and also there was like a pumpkin roll, and then there was this pumpkin chiffon cake, or not cake, pie. So I tried a bite of the pumpkin chiffon pie off my dad's plate, and then I tried a bite of the pumpkin roll with cream cheese frosting off of my husband's plate, and then I had a half a piece of apple pie. That's probably over a span of 2 hours. I spread it out. I do dump if I have too much sugar, so I wanted to be cautious of that. I was at somebody else's house. I did not want to risk getting sick, and I'm so pleased that I had 0 problems with the food. And I felt good afterwards. So that's that, I guess. Now that I'm home, the cool thing is I was able to be in that moderation camp, be where I can eat what I want when I want, as long as it's in moderation. Feel good about it. I felt 0 guilt. I felt 0 I didn't feel hesitant at all. I felt confident in my food choices, what my body could handle, what I felt good about. There's many times, like those donuts, in the past, I could have eaten an entire dozen all by myself and really not even tasted it between bites. This time I ate just over a half of one donut, and that was enough for me. It actually made me feel a little crummy all the way home, but not sick, just not my best. And I'm able to do that moderation, where I can just eat what I want, have things that I want, and then go back to my routine and not feel like I'm in this death spiral of weight gain, which is totally how I felt prior to surgery. So, what else? Not much else, I guess. Ring check. So this is actually my mom's wedding ring. I had to take off my old wedding ring, and this is even a little loose. I was a size 11 ring. I finally went and got my ring looked at to see about having it resized, and my original ring was a size 11. This is a size 7, and it's loose. And I remember my mom's hands were so tiny, and she was a petite lady. She was like 5'3" or 5'2". She had very short, small fingers. I always remember how small her hands were. So the fact that her wedding ring fits me, not only fits me, but is loose, just like blows me away. I am solidly in a large, even a medium to large. A lot of my large tops are starting to get too small. I am happy to report that my tummy area is continuing to go down in size. I was really concerned that it was not going to, that it kind of was what it was, and I was going to be stuck in a tight 12 or a 14 forever, and that's just not the case. So that's good. I'm happy about that. I don't know if you caught it. I was on The Naked Truth on November 20th, which was a Sunday just before Thanksgiving. So that would be Sunday before last. I had so much fun hanging out with Liz, Finding Elizabeth, and Gracie. No one's stopping me but me. And if you didn't catch that, you can go back and watch it on the Naked Truth channel, or and you can also catch the new episodes that they do each Sunday with a different WLSer. So that was fun. But other than that, not a whole lot going on. My life is going to continue to be very busy. I did hire a new assistant at work, but now we're in training mode. So with training, it always gets a little, as far as busyness, it always gets a little worse before it gets better. So I got to get her on track. And, but the more I get her on track, the more responsibility I'll be taking over at work. I'm kind of moving into a new position, which reminds me, I don't want to go on too much longer. I know I'm already at 11 minutes, but stress eating. Stress eating has always been a trigger for me, for my weight. It's usually where my overeating began, and then I just wasn't able to stop. And then by the time the stress level went down, I was in that bad cycle of poor eating and overeating, and I would just continue. So, and then it would take something big for me to feel like, oh, that's it, I got to get back on track. So I'd get back on track, and then something stressful would happen in my life, and I would start that cycle all over again. This has been a very stressful time for me. Not only is it the holidays, there's extra demands on our time, and like I said, we did travel, and then everything at work. It has been very, very stressful. I am still fighting the urge to stress eat, to just snack all the time. I'm also really struggling with a second meal. Like, I'll eat my dinner. Let's say if I have like a spinach and artichoke and chicken piece of pizza, I'll eat like half that piece of pizza, and then 2 hours later, I'll eat the second half of the piece of pizza, and then maybe something else with it. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be eating my meal, and then that should be it. I shouldn't be, that's really the definition of grazing, where you're filling up your tummy, you're waiting for it to empty, and then you're going back and filling it up again, and then waiting for it to empty, and then you're having a nighttime snack and filling it up again. And I recognize that I need to be mindful of that it could definitely start a new bad habit that I really haven't picked back up again since surgery. So I'm being careful of that. But overall, the stress eating has not been out of control. I have felt the temptation to do so, and I've caught myself doing it a couple of times, but I am at least mindful of it and keeping it under control. So that's going to be my theme, I think, over the holidays. 2 goals I've got is to keep the stress eating under control. Well, I should say 3 goals. The stress eating, keeping that under control. The second thing would be 1 meal and then done, not going back for seconds after my tummy's empty again. And the third thing is to lose weight over the holidays, not gain weight. I will even be satisfied if I stay the same. However, I do still have another 11 pounds, 11.8 pounds to go to reach my goal. And my weight app had kind of graphed that I could be at my goal by New Year's, somewhere in the last week of December. And if I stay on track, I believe I can achieve that. So I'm going to do that. So I'm excited. I did get a lot of reaction from family. Everybody, last time I went down there in July, it was a big topic of conversation that I had lost weight. But everybody again was, well, how much more do you have to go? And I'd say, oh, about 10 pounds. They'd be like, you don't have 10 pounds to lose. You look anorexic if you lost 10 pounds and all that, you know, and I didn't take offense to it. It was a compliment to, you know, and I just, 118 pounds ago, I would have just not believed you had you told me that by Thanksgiving I would only have 10 pounds to go until my goal. I would not have believed you. And not only that, but I looked at people that had 30 pounds to lose or 25 pounds to lose, and I would look at them and just think, gosh, to have only that much weight to lose, what a huge blessing. So I'm counting my blessings. I am so thankful in this time for thankfulness. I am the most thankful this year for my surgery and for the weight loss community. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for all of the support and for what you bring to my life. And I hope I can offer you guys support too. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday time with your families. And I'll check in as soon as I can. Okay, guys? Bye-bye.